Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a magical forest that shimmered and sparkled like 1,000 stars. It was called the Sparkling Forest. Deep within this enchanted wood lived a brave young girl named Luna. Kind and gentle, Luna had a heart as pure as the light that filled the forest. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the sparkling forest would come alive with magic. Enchanted crystals embedded in every tree trunk glowed with an otherworldly light, and fireflies the size of a child's hand floated among the branches, their tiny lanterns illuminating the way for little woodland creatures making their way home. But one evening, as Luna skipped through the trees, she noticed that something was wrong. The usual glow of the forest seemed much dimmer than before. The fireflies were nowhere to be seen, and long shadows stretched across the ground, deeper and darker than they should have been. As she hurried through the woods, she heard the animals whispering in hushed tones. "The magic is draining away," they cried. "If it disappears entirely, the forest will fall silent forever." Startled, Luna stopped in her tracks. She had never heard the animals speak before, let alone utter such dire words. Just then, a wise old owl with feathers like polished jet landed on a branch above her head. "Little Luna," he said, his voice grave, "you must help us. The very heart of our forest is in peril." Taking a deep breath, Luna promised to do whatever she could to save the sparkling forest. And so, with the first rays of sunlight, she set off on her adventure. As she walked, she soon came across a bushy-tailed fox who was hopping from one foot to the next in agitation. "Come, little Luna," he cried, seeing her approach. "We haven't a moment to lose." Then, with a flick of his tail, he disappeared into a thicket of bushes. Startled but determined, Luna followed him. And when she emerged on the other side, she gasped in amazement. Before her stood a majestic white deer. "Oh, you must hurry," said the deer, glancing at the darkening sky. "We have much to do before nightfall." So the three companions set off deeper into the forest. They journeyed through shimmering waterfalls that glittered like diamonds, across fields of glowing mushrooms, and through caves that sparkled with crystals. But all the while, the shadows grew longer and the light grew dim. Finally, deep in the heart of the forest, they reached a clearing. And there, nestled among the roots of an ancient oak, sat a crystal as big as a house. But instead of sparkling, it was dull and lifeless, and a dark shadow was seeping out from between its cracks. "This is the source of the forest's magic," explained the owl, his voice barely a whisper. "And that shadow, it's draining the light from the crystal and feeding on its broken magic." Suddenly, the fox cried out in alarm. "Look, the deer and I can distract the shadow, but you, little Luna, you must place your hand on the crystal and restore its light." Gently, the deer nuzzled Luna's hand, lending her some of his own strength and courage. Then, with a playful nip, the fox reminded her to be quick. And together, they charged into the darkness. The shadow lashed out with shadowy tendrils, but the deer dodged and weaved, keeping it just out of reach. All the while, Luna ran towards the crystal, her heart pounding in her chest. The fox darted around the clearing, distracting the creature and giving Luna precious seconds to reach the crystal. As the last of the light faded from the sky, Luna placed her hand on the cold, lifeless crystal. Closing her eyes, she thought of all the animals in the beautiful sparkling forest, and wished with all her might that they could be happy again. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the light returned. The crystal blazed with 1,000 hues, chasing away the shadow, which shrieked and vanished as it touched the returning light. When the animals saw that the forest was saved, they cheered and gathered around Luna. The deer nudged her with his antler, the fox barked and howled, and the owl hooted with delight. And so, thanks to her bravery and kindness, the sparkling forest was once again filled with the light and laughter of its people. And that, dear listener, is why even the smallest light can chase away the deepest shadow.